I'm Lizzie Daston. Welcome to another session of Sidewalk School. We are at the LA River in the valley, and we're at the end portion of Judy Baca's tremendously important, huge mural, the Great Wall of Los Angeles. Baca began this project in 1976. In addition to being a really significant muralist, she also is an activist, and that same year co-founded Spark. They work in the restoration space of murals and also the creation of really important didactic works, chief among them this wonderful mural that's behind us. It is one of the longest murals in the world. It stretches about a half of a mile, and it tells the story of the history of California. Since murals are often so large, what comes with that is a responsibility to tell a narrative, because a ton of people can look at a mural as opposed to a stencil, which is maybe a more intimate exchange between one person at a time. A mural, tons of people can see it at once. So Baca, she is telling the history of California, but not the traditional one that we read as kids. She's telling the history of California through the often overlooked eyes of minorities and women. This is still something that is deeply culturally resonant, but it's even more impressive that she began this project in the 1970s when women were barely able to show in museums, let alone women of color. Something else that Baca does that to me is very in line with her life, her energy as an activist, is that this work was a collaborative experience. She, with the help of about 400 assistants, made this mural possible. This is also something that starts to emerge in the 1970s, this idea of collaboration. We think of traditional art as being the product of one lone genius who's probably a little bit weird and working through strange psychological disturbances and then projecting that onto the canvas. That artist is always one person and always male and always white. In the 70s, what we think of art starts to expand. Now, work doesn't have to be in a museum. It can be outside. It can be in the public space, open to public exchange and dialogue, and anybody who has access to the river can see this. It's a lot more egalitarian than art in a museum. Also, art doesn't have to be made by one person. It isn't this isolated experience of genius, but now is much more of an involved conversation. The fact that Judy Baca would invite members of the local community to help her with this project just expresses and articulates this shift that's happening in the art world so elegantly. I'm Lizzie, and this has been another session of Sidewalk School.